Hey. So this is the last video in our Executive Dating Winter Success series. And if you have somehow landed on this video and you've not seen the last three, I want you to pause it, go back to the first video in the series, which is titled Why Successful Women Struggle in Dating. I want you to start there because that is the foundation. Each video builds upon the last. So I want you to go back. I know that you are intrigued by this title, but I want you to go back and start at the first video. So in the first video, we talked about why your strategic brain isn't the problem. In the second video, we talked about why you keep meeting the same type. The third video, we talked about how to build an actual system. And then tonight, we're going to talk about how to actually meet your person in Q1 2026. Not by hoping, not by putting yourself out there everywhere, but by executing a strategy. And you're going to want to get a pen and paper. I'm giving you actionable steps to build out a real strategy. And you may be wondering, who is this woman? Well, I am Arnitris L. Strong. I am the founder of Love Elevate with Arnitris. I am the host of the Swagger Original Series, Executive Lessons in Love. I am an executive dating strategist for successful women just like you who need to learn how to bring their boardroom brilliance into their love lives. And tonight, we're going to be talking about how to create a strategy to meet your person in 2026, not just by being everywhere all at once. We're designing an actual strategy. So grab your pen, grab your paper, and let's get into it. So, point number one, your person is looking for you too. They're actually looking for you. They're not lost about what's going on and what's missing in their lives. They're clear. They're looking for you too. You just need to be in the same room. So your person exists. They're out there. They're looking for you. The problem is that you're not in the same room yet. You're showing up certain places. They're showing up certain places. Those places have not overlapped yet. That's it. That's the whole problem in a nutshell. So the work is figuring out, where should I actually be? So here's a strategic thinking exercise. You ready? Step one, write down your ideal partner's core values and operating style. And this is going to be based on that clarity work from yesterday. What are their core values and operating style? And then step two, I want you to try to think like them. If you had those values and that operation style, where would you spend your time? If faith was important to you, where would you spend your time? You would definitely spend your time at a place of worship on Sundays, maybe on Wednesday for Bible study. You would probably position yourself around community service initiatives. You see where I'm going with that? Volunteer because it's important to you, then probably giving back to your community is also important to you. All right. Step one, write down your ideal partner's core values and operating style. Step two, think like them and think about where you would spend your time if those values were important to you. And you want to be specific here. What communities would you join? What causes would you support? What activities would you prioritize? What events would you attend? What organizations would you join? You okay? So, based on those core values and the types of activities that they would enjoy or where they would spend their time, you're going to make a list of 10 to 15 specific places, venues, and events where someone with those values would likely position themselves. All right. Once you've done that, you're going to circle the 3 to 5 that are most realistic for you to show up at consistently. That's your positioning shortlist. Not everywhere, not random, strategic. Is where you have value alignment and can show up consistently, and they're likely to be. That's strategic. Where you have values alignment and can show up consistently, and they're likely to be. That strategic positioning. So your person is looking for you too. You just need to be in the same room. So you're going to position yourself accordingly. So you have a 90-day window. In the last video, I talked about how January through March is the highest activity dating season. I'm going to show you how to use your 90-day window. But most people waste it because they're reactive. But what if you had an actual 90-day execution plan? So let's build a rough 90-day plan right now. Pull out your calendar, actually open it up. Where were you positioned? Week 1 January, New Year's week. Pick 1 to 2 venues from your short list and commit to showing up. Week 2 to 4, you're going to continue showing up at those same 1 to 2 places. Consistency matters here more than variety. And I want you to show up at these places different times of day. So one of your core values is fitness. And so you're committed to showing up at LA Fitness. Show up different times of the day. You're always going at 7 o'clock in the morning before you go to work at 9. Then switch up and go at 6. Maybe your person is there after work. All right. By the end of January, you're going to ask yourself, is this working? Am I meeting aligned people? Or do I need to adjust? But I want you to give it a solid 4 weeks before you adjust. And I want you to change out your times that you're going to these places before you adjust. So that's January down, 30 days. February, week 1 to 2, you're either going to continue what's already working or you're going to pivot to different venues from your short list. You made a list of 10 to 15 venues if January didn't work. That's what we're doing in week 1 to 2 in February. Week 3 to 4, Valentine's Day is here. You're going to have lots of activities, lots of events. So you want to plan to be visible and positioned. By the end of February, you're going to ask yourself, have I made any aligned connections? What's working? What's not? This is where you're going to determine if it's time to pivot or not. Now we're into March. For the whole month of March, you're going to optimize your positioning based on what you learned in January and February. You're going to double down on what's already working. By the end of March, you're going to evaluate again. Where am I compared to January 1? What progress have I made? That's your 90-day campaign. I want you to look at your calendar and actually block out the time for this. I want you to treat it like client meetings. Block out the hours. Because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So you have a 90-day window that most people waste, but you're going to execute it. All right? That's your 90-day campaign. Point number 3, you're going to need evaluation criteria because most people make emotional decisions in dating. Do I like them? Is there chemistry? Do they like me? But chemistry without alignment is just physical attraction that burns out. You need evaluation criteria. So now we're going to create your evaluation framework. When you meet someone who seems interesting, ask yourself these questions. Does their communication style work for me? Maybe they communicate primarily through text messages and you prefer phone conversations. Maybe they communicate primarily through phone conversations and you prefer text messages. But you want to evaluate that here. Now, you can also consider if that's something that you're willing to negotiate on, if you're willing to have a conversation. I don't want you to just be cutting people off for the slightest things. Something as simple as communication style could probably be worked out. Do they demonstrate curiosity or just talk about themselves? That's important. Are there any red flags present? If yes, you're going to end it there. That's your first filter. Second filter is after 2 to 3 interactions. You don't move to this until 2 to 3 actions. It's giving you time to observe. Do their actual stated values align with their actual behavior? That's important. Are they walking it like they're talking? How do they talk about past relationships? Are they a victim or are they showing growth? Can they match your level of intentionality? You're very intentional about this season of your life. If they're casual, maybe it's not a good connection. And then we're going to move to the third filter after 1 full month of engaging with this person. Because you have enough information to evaluate how they handle disagreement or a challenge. Do they make time for what matters to them? Am I energized or drained after time with them? That is so important. Then your fourth filter. This is after 2 to 3 months of engaging with someone. Do they demonstrate a growth mindset? How do they show up in my actual life? Not fantasy, reality. How do they show up in your actual life? Do I want what they are offering long term? Because I can promise you that thing that you are thinking, oh, it's not that bad after 3 or 4 months, 6 months, a year, it's not going to be so cute. So, do you actually want what they're offering? Write these down. I actually want you to write these down, which is why I say make sure you have pen and paper. Then, when you meet someone, you're going to use this framework. Don't skip filters just because they're chemistry. Chemistry gets you interested. Criteria gets you aligned. All right? You need evaluation criteria, not just chemistry. Criteria eliminates confusion. All right. We are at point number 4. You're either grateful or regretful a year from now. A year from now, December 2026, you're going to be in one of two places. You executed your Q1 strategy, you positioned strategically, you evaluated intentionally, and you made significant progress. And you're going to think, I'm so glad I took this seriously. I'm so glad I happened upon, or I need to say series. Or place number 2, in the same place, still winging it, still frustrated. And you'll think, I wish I had taken myself seriously a year ago. Which one do you want to be? Here's your final assignment for this series. I want you to write yourself 2 letters tonight. Dear me, it's December 2020. This year has been incredible because I'm sorry, that's December 2026. Dear me, it's December 2026. This year has been incredible because write what you want your future self to say. What did you do? What changed? How did you show up? What results did you get? Then letter number 2 is the regret case. Dear me, it's December 2026. I'm disappointed because write what you don't want your future self to say. What did you avoid? What did you put off? Why are you in the same place? Now read both letters. Which story do you want to live? And more importantly, what are you going to do this week to start writing the first story instead of the second? Because future you is counting on present you to make different choices. This is your strategic decision point. You can keep doing what you've been doing, or you can try something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes. A year from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret waiting. Choose wisely. So, this is the last video in this series. You have the vision. Now, you need the manual. Now, I've already packaged this entire 90-day roadmap into a strategic dating dossier, a 20-plus page workbook that guides you week by week through this process. And it's included exclusively in the Strategic Dating Masterclass. In this masterclass, you'll get the full assessment to confirm your divine relationship design, specific scripts for your date, and a complete execution plan. For $97, you can get the full video training and the workbook right now. Stop winging it. You don't have to wing it. Click the link below and download the plan. Let's get to work. Now, maybe you have decided that you have enough information here to hit the ground running and you don't need additional guidance. If you follow the plan as I've laid it out, you'll definitely get different results than you've gotten before. All right, and I want to know if you follow this plan the way I've lined it out. I want to know about your success story. Tag me in your date night video, your selfie before date night. Tag me in. I would love to hear about it. Send me an email. Okay? So, if you work the plan the way it has been designed, you'll definitely get some better results, some different results than you've gotten before. But if you decide that you need extra help, you want more guidance, then the Strategic Dating Masterclass is laid out for you. And no, they're 4 modules, not long drawn out modules. The dossier walks you through it, and you'll have your whole strategy for Q1 to take advantage of that active dating window. All right. So thank you for joining me for this Strategic Dating Success series. I have been enjoying myself getting this information out to you, and I want to know any aha moments that you had. Leave them down in the comments, or you can always send me an email, arniches@arnicheslstrong.com. I want you to go into Q1 2026 fully prepared. I don't want you back here December 2026 regretting and reading that regret letter to yourself. Okay? Nothing changes unless something changes. All right? I'll see you again. I'll see you out there in those dating streets. I might just roll up on you somewhere out there where you're positioning yourself. Who knows? See you next time.